Hello, I'm Jeremy Ford, and in this lesson I'm going to show you how to paint daffodils. But daffodils can be a little bit tricky to paint, so I'm going to show you how to construct them first of all. You can think of a daffodil as, first of all, a triangle, upright, and then a triangle the other way up, like a Star of David. Then one petal, two petals, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gives us the basic shape, and then in the middle will be the trumpet. Jagged edge, and then I don't want to draw a hard line there because it's not too distinct, but that would be the centre looking right in there. So that's a daffodil looking straight ahead. If we had a daffodil slightly to one angle, then we could change the angle of the triangle first of all. One like that, and then one like that. And if this is more sideways on, then we'd see the side of the trumpet like that. Now I've drawn this very heavily. If you were going to draw this for a painting, you'd draw it much paler than that. Well, I'm going to do that now on a painting. Take your time drawing the flowers. Don't be afraid to rub them out and start again or change little bits. I've put the main flowers in first of all, and then I've put in some leaves and stems and buds around those. They don't have to be too precise. The most important thing are the flowers. I'm going to wet the paper after I've mixed some colours, but I'm only going to wet it around the flower heads. I'm going to drop in lots of different greens and yellows in the background. And then when that's dried, I'll paint the flower heads and put some darker colours in. So I want some greens and some strong yellow. Yellow without very much water. And the greens, I want a nice yellow green, so that's mostly yellow. A small amount of the tropical phthalo blue. And a darker green, that's more phthalo blue. Tiny little bit of red, just to deaden it. So my colours are ready, and now I've got the flat brush, and also introduce the dropper. This is very handy for adding water to paint, for mixing large quantities or moving paint around your palette. You can also use it for putting water on your picture. And I need to remember to leave the flower heads white for now. So very carefully wetting around the flowers. It might be easier around the flowers just to use a brush, the other brush, the one with the good point, just to get it in and amongst the petals. And then fairly quickly, the pale green, watch it spread out. Nice and wet. and some yellow. Now ideally this wants to be still wet by the time you put on some of the darker green. And it's not essential to get the darker green on, but I think it just gives a little bit more variety. Just few little blobs here and there. Being careful not to go over into the white flowers. Lifting out a little bit where that dark green's gone over some of the stems. Lifting out. Now some of that paint will still creep back in, but I'll make those stand out a little bit more in a while by darkening in between these leaves and stems. Now that's dry, I can start work on the flowers. Cadmium yellow, just on its own. I'm going to start with the trumpets, leaving little bits of white paper, using the brush going around the edge of the trumpet, like that, and then filling in most of the middle bit. I'll come back to that in a little while. Do the same on the other one. Take the brush in the direction that the petal's going. And fill in most of the middle, apart from just the tiny little bits which I'm going to leave white for the stamens. The outside petals, cadmium yellow. I'm going to leave little bits of white just to accentuate the brightness of the flower. And on the other petals. That's fine.